I'm working on this tutorial to set up a screen space projected mesh and start messing around with it.
First order of business is to convert that mesh from world to screen space, if that makes sense. So, assuming that plane is unwrapped like so, I'm first going to subtract 0.5 to the texture coordinates to have 0, 0 be on the center. Then mask both the red and green channels, multiply the red channel by a negative x unit vector, transform from view to world space. And for the green channel, do the same with a positive y unit vector, also transform from view to world space. I'm also going to multiply that transform x unit vector with a screen resolution ratio.
Okay, let's start doing this. So I created our high resolution mesh right here. I'm not sure if this is dense enough, but we can always make another one. So we need to make a new material, and I've got this folder here. So we're gonna make a material. I'll call this BP, empty green space mesh. BP, no, empty screen space mesh. Alright, great. We're gonna set this to 0. Okay, looks great. Now, let's start building out this material graph that this guy's got. So we've got text coordinate subtract 0.5 minus 0.5 to center it. Okay. Mask R, mask G, component mask. Alright, there we go. And then one second. Alright, there we go. Alright, negative 100 010 constants. Negative 100 constants, 3 vectors, 010. Okay, and then transform vector view space to world space. View space to world space. Multiply, multiply. Okay. View size RG. Okay, and then what's he doing here? Divide. Multiply right here. Okay.
then add those two vectors together.
Multiplies this here, here. The red channel up here is multiplied by the output of this, like this.
Together and multiplied by 12 seems to be
Add and multiply by 12. Okay.
just the right value for me. Not sure why 12 specifically, to be honest, so feel free to tweak this value if needed, I guess. Then add the camera's position. Cool, I've reconstructed the world position, so that's
Add the camera position. Okay. We want to go ahead and make our mesh this thing. Yep. Alright, great.
subdivided plane faces the camera, simply using its UVs, transform from view to world space, and it's also located at the camera's position. However, that is a world position, and I want an offset, so subtract the vertices initial world position to that
Minus world position. Alright.
constructed world position to convert it to an offset. By the way, feel free to watch my stylized grass video where I explain in depth that kind of tricks. Anyway, then apply that material, and oh, where did that plane go? Well, it's here, it's actually precisely at the camera's position. The thing is, the camera has what we call a near clip plane, so anything too close to the camera doesn't render. So this mesh, this plane, has to be pushed forward in camera space, just enough to be past the camera's near clip plane. And by default in UE, the near clip plane is 10 centimeters away. So let's add an offset forward in view space by actually not 10 centimeters.
0, 0, 1, transform vector, view space to world space. 0, 0, 1. Transform view space to world space.
Centimeters, but just slightly above 10, okay?
Multiply by 10.1. 10.1. Do I just add it? Probably just add it. Let's find out. Alright, we have a consistently placed mesh here. I don't know why it's not, but that is cool.
Sweet. However, that mesh may still disappear if its original mesh bounds isn't in view anymore.
Let's try to look at it in our scene now. This is neat. All right, let's see what he says about this next
No,
part.
because that screen projection happens on the GPU and the CPU isn't aware of it, and may think the mesh isn't in view anymore. So I can trick the CPU into thinking it's always in view by increasing this mesh bounds by a crazy amount like so. Cool.
Positive bounds extension. Bounds. That's pretty cool. Cool. All right, so we got our mesh lock to our camera. I don't know how to. I'm not sure how to to make it wider. Oh, you know what? That's probably that 12 value he was talking about. I bet. Yep. All right, that's it. Okay, so scalar, green scale. All right, now we have our mesh locked to our view, right? So this is nice because we can use this mesh to do some projection stuff. So let's look at that next.
That plane is now projected in screen space, and if I were to add any object in the world, well, I wouldn't see it, right? Because that plane is indeed right in front of the camera. And now's the time to project that screen space mesh onto an infinite plane in world space. A quick Google search gives a couple of interesting results, but most of these carry math equations and transformation matrices, and I was kinda lazy and then thought to myself, hey, UE has this virtual plane coordinates material function, and what this material function does is to shoot a ray from the camera and compute the position at which that ray intersects with a virtual plane facing a given z vector and placed at a given world position, and that's exactly what I need to do here. For each vertex of this screen space grid, I need to shoot a ray forward in camera space and figure out where that ray intersects with the virtual plane I'm trying to create, if it does at all, right? So really, I'm just interested in that output pin. The thing is, I need to tweak this a tiny bit, so I'm going to copy that entire function, clean it up, and delete any unnecessary stuff.
Okay, hang on. We copy this, move it out here, delete this. Now, what did he delete?
Clean it up, and delete any.
Okay, hang on. He deleted. It's so fast. He deleted all this. This part, this part, this part, this part, I think. Wait. Yeah, okay. I think. Except I didn't get the whole function. Okay, hang on. Virtual plane coordinates. That's lame. So we lose our inputs. So let's see. Input plane center, absolute world position. It kept vector, parameter, plane center, plane normal axis, plane normal axis. These go into this dot. This goes into this dot. This looks like it was just 100% blue. Okay, okay. UV scale. UV scale. I understand that I'm probably gonna have to delete this, but um, I just want to reconstruct the whole function before I continue. Output. Okay, so that's the output. World position here. World position centered here. Okay, so named reroute. W pause. Named reroute. CW pause. Alright, and then what am I missing from this dot here? Dot with input plane x axis. Vector 1 is this. Okay, and then vector 3 multiply by 1 input plane x axis. Cross. I think that's right. I'm pretty sure we only care about this though, so now let's see what he deletes. He's gonna delete all of this.
This a tiny bit, so I'm going to copy that entire function, clean it up, and delete any unnecessary stuff.
Yep. Okay. So I was right. Because we only care about the world position. We don't care about like normals and stuff like that. Camera position, subtract, subtract, subtract. He's gonna hook this in right here and here. Let's make sure that's hooked in the right places. I think that's right. Let's double check. 0000001. Okay. I think that's right. Alright, so now we got it.
Then that direction vector isn't going to be based on the vertice's original world position anymore, but on the screen space position I just built.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So instead of this, delete this. Hang on, let's see where he hooks it up real quick. Okay, that's before he subtracts the world position from it. So that's gonna be do I need to do it like this? And this is the position that he uses instead of the world position up here. Okay. Like he said, let's clean it up a bit. It's a bit. Alright, let's put it up here. Alright, so we plug this in here.
That being done, there's one critical issue to solve. If I were to look at the sky, those vertices here wouldn't intersect with the virtual plane anymore, right? And so that math equation wouldn't have any solution, and that would lead to all kind of glitches. One easy workaround is to add an if statement and check it.
Add an if to this dot product right here. If B is 0
If this
by
dot product
default.
is above or below 0. If it's below, that tray hits that virtual plane and it's okay to forward that world position. Else, I can just build a 2D direction from that vector, multiplied by a crazy amount, to essentially push vertices that do not hit the virtual plane towards the horizon.
Okay, so less than, we use the output of the subtract node. Hang on. Yes. So this greater than, we multiply the subtract node right here that goes into the dot, multiply by 110 and then multiply by a lot. Okay, so no. 110 and then times a really big number. All right, then where's he plug that into?
Sweet, now convert that projected world position.
Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, that's fucking cool. Wait, but it's not right. Oh, I see. Missing dot product input A. Ah, right here. So what does he have there?
The virtual
Dot
plane towards the
dot A gets the blue. Okay. Well, it's not quite right yet. Doesn't know how to handle underneath, it seems. Alright, so we can actually. That is pretty freaking cool. It has to be scaled a little bit bigger than the screen. And we have to figure out why it fucks up here. I don't know why this is occurring. Still, that's pretty neat. Um, so hold up. Let's try something else. Cloud atmosphere. We're going to try to use it with a sphere intersection constant, 3 vector. You know what I think it is? Let's try the shadow. Do not cast shadows. If you have a uniform density, we should have a uniform density at all viewing angles and distances. We'd have to figure out why it's doing that flickering and figure out how to project it on a sphere. But this is cool. Pretty freaking neat. Pretty cool. That is pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff to figure out still with this, but um, this at least illustrates that it's possible. I'm kind of confused by this. You know what? It's that's why. Yeah, this is okay. So That's why it wasn't working in the large scale either, because we have to scale it. Let's try it like this. Plus equals 1 minus length of the current wave output dot displacement dot xy divided by wave dot w. Alright, that's not right. But it's got something to do with that. So, um, let's go back to this. Um, well, obviously we need a little bit more work on the crest mask here, but this is neat. I don't know exactly how I'm going to be able to use it yet, but I knew do. Wait, could I just 1 minus? All right, and then we also want to do the last thing that we can do here times max of 0 and the sine of accumulated displacement dot z. Shit. That might be a warp issue. No, it's not. Fuck. Uh, hmm. How did I do that over here? Zero, one. Hmm. There's issues with the anti-aliasing, which is what he mentioned. Temporal super resolution seems to pretty much fix it. Temporal anti-aliasing is also not too bad. Uh, we got our proof of concept here. I need to figure out how to adapt this to a sphere if we want to use it, which I don't know if I'm going to use it or not yet. It would simplify things to not have to generate the additional mesh. It's also nice that we get like basically infinite resolution. We would probably want to like have some sort of function to stop rendering this when we get far enough away. Uh, let's see. Another thing that we would want to do is figure out a way to like render the underside of this as like in the water. I'm not sure how to do that yet. So one of the problems the guy mentioned with it in the videos was like a flickering effect as you moved, but I honestly don't think it's too bad with this. With his water that he was trying to put on it was from a texture and not a math equation, and that may also have something to do with it not flickering too bad here. All right, I'm gonna keep messing with this. It's a cool technique. Um, but now I'm gonna go to sleep. So later.